What is up, guys? This video is going to be probably part one of potentially 3 or 4 parts of the 5-speed transmission swap on the Dakota, which I have sitting out there running and warming up because I gotta go to my storage unit and pick up my transmission and pedal box and a couple other just random things that I had stored in there. And then down here is a rather large pile of parts that I will be showing you all later when I go pick up the stuff and bring it all back here. And then I think I'm gonna wait until I get back up out of bed to show you guys everything. That way I can just explain all of the parts that I have, so if those of you that have not seen my collection of parts for the swap, I can show that, and then I can show you guys the Rock Auto stuff that I ordered as well. So just wanted to make an intro now, get it taken care of, and I will probably see you guys in probably later on in the day, and we will just get right into working on this thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the parts that I've got, and we're going to get working on this thing and start removing stuff. So I just tossed these in the bed of the truck, but that's pedal box, drive shaft, which I did forget, shifter, I forgot that as well, and then I've got the interior pieces I'm going to need. I don't know if I'll be able to use that thing, but I might figure out how to do it. Transmission is laying over here behind the heater. I didn't notice this when I got this transmission. I don't know if it's been like this since I got it or what, but that little corner piece right there is broken off. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but if it is, I mean, it'll still bolt up and everything, but it's not like a big, there's just like 75% of that area is still there, so we'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens. That's all the junkyard parts I had to have for the swap to really go down, and then here is the pile of parts I showed you guys earlier. In this box is a brand new pre-bled slave master setup, so it's got the hard line and all that already put together, already bled, so all it has to be done is put it in and it's good to go. Brand new valve cover gaskets, brand new oil pan gasket. There is a brand new starter in here. I'm gonna go ahead and move that over there. This, I don't even remember. I think it's either a belt tensioner or an idler pulley. This has the transmission mount in it. This is the idler pulley. I think that's the belt tensioner. And then motor mount, water pump, heater neck thing. We have a Luck clutch kit and a Luck flywheel. These are for the V8. They do bolt up, it'll work just fine. The only difference between the V8 clutch and the V6 clutch basically is the ring that goes around it for the crank position sensor. I can't think of what it's called right now. The 5.2 flywheel and clutch can be used on a 3.9 and vice versa if for some reason you wanted to do that. So I'm going to be running those. It should be able to handle more torque, and it's basically an easy, cheap upgrade, and there's not really good options out there for aftermarket clutches for the 3.9 or the 5.2. Since the Mega Squirt doesn't use the stock crank position sensor at all, it doesn't matter that it doesn't work, and I don't have to worry about swapping the little rings or whatever you call them over. Got brand new U-joints, and here's the water pump right there that I bought, and that is everything. This thing's like, the box is pretty shot, so you can actually see some of it in there. And then up there I have an AN line kit for the oil drain and a bung. I'm going to weld an AN fitting to the oil pan while the engine is out and run AN stuff for the oil drain off of the turbo. So there's a steel AN bung I'm going to weld to the pan, so I'm going to have to cut my old fitting off, and I got all this stuff up here, so I'm going to have this angled piece and an angled piece down here wherever I decide to cut this. And I'll use that for an oil drain so I can get rid of there's like a pretty good sized kink in it. It hasn't been backing up or anything, it's been draining fine, but I just don't like it and I want something that looks a little bit better. The plan is just to pull the engine and transmission together. So first thing is first, I'm going to get all these things just thrown into the bed of the truck so that they're out of my way, and I'm going to start draining fluids, so coolant, oil, transmission fluid, and then I'll probably work on just everything underneath of the truck because they'll sort of be down there already. Fluids first after I get some of this stuff out of my way, and then we'll just see where we go from there. I forgot that was the thing. This is a tough nut. The good thing about a new transmission mount is it's pretty fucked. everything is unhooked. Wiring harness, drive shaft is out. Fuel lines are disconnected, radiator's out. And the only thing that we might have missed, because I can't get to it, is there's like a body harness on a transmission that might still be connected, but if it is, I'm just gonna cut it when we pull it out because I don't need it anymore. Managed to not make a giant mess like I did with the PT Cruiser, so that's good. There's no lift points on this engine, so I'm just using this thing, and if they break, they break, I guess. The engine will just fall back into the truck. Focus ST. Nice. Every fucking time. It's either a train or a loud car. Anyway, so I think everything's disconnected. If something we missed, we'll just find out when it's coming out. So yeah, we're just gonna hook up the hoist and start pulling it out, and
probably break something.
Just send it, I hope.
Yes.
Don't even record this.
Oh, I want to. This is
I'm not
great.
putting it in if you do.
Why not?
Because this is not good. We cut something. I don't want to talk about it.
The last non-rusted piece of the truck.
Well, there's a few non-rusted pieces left. Actually, there was rust in there too, so that's not true. This is why I don't buy nice cars. Fuck this thing. Yeah, it can't move. Oh, that's done. Cool. Alright guys, I don't know how much exactly we got. I had help today from Nate and Sarah getting the engine out and recording, which was great. Sarah's running the camera, Nate was helping me unbolt stuff, remove stuff, and we ended up having this thing out in about 2.5 hours. Engine is on the engine stand. Old transmission is sitting over here on the floor. Some of the parts are laying here, like the intercooler setup is laying on the ground. That plate, which I can't use on the manual, I should have kept the one from the other truck at the junkyard, but oh well. Radiator hose, radiator, the old starter, which I won't be using, but I have it just as a backup basically. Another radiator hose, the mount for the intercooler, the exhaust stuff. Chilling there. I threw a few things into the back of the truck as well. Also, look at how, I mean, the truck's sitting a little bit lower in the back than normal, but it went up a lot in the front with all that weight out of it, which is I'm not surprised by. I need to buy new hoses for the heater car because we cut that one and this one. I'm just going to replace both just so that they're taken care of and done. I'm going to be going through this wiring harness, picking through it, and removing all of the transmission stuff. Basically everything. This whole ECU is going to be going away, and I'm going to be re-looming the Mega Squirt stuff into that harness, making it look real nice and clean. Went to Harbor Freight, and it got some wiring stuff, like the little conduit plastic stuff, and some zip ties, and I think I already have a roll of electrical tape, so I can go ahead and make a proper wiring harness, make everything look real nice and clean. I cut, you guys saw this already, but I just cut this thing out right here. What I'm gonna do is, since I still have that sitting, it's either here or it's actually in the back of the truck. It's not a structural part. The only thing it actually does, basically on my truck anymore, is support the grill and latch the hood. So I'm just gonna put hood pins on this truck. It was just so hard to get the engine out without removing, it was basically impossible to remove the engine and transmission without removing that. And the front end of the truck is, we were afraid wouldn't unbolt very easily. I was kind of careful about where I cut because of like the position of this thing. And when I do the radiator deal that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cutting a whole bunch of this other stuff out too. So when the intercooler is there, because the intercooler is going to be mounted up here somewhere, I'm probably going to use the intercooler to add more supports for that bracket that goes here, just to make it even more solid. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end this video. Engine's out on the stand, and all the parts are organized. I've cleaned up. I'm waiting for this to just evaporate. I got myself reorganized and everything put back away, basically. We will be putting new water pump, valve cover gaskets, redoing the oil drain setup on this thing, and while it's all on the stand, getting this engine ready to go, and it'll be time to bolt the engine and transmission back together. I realized I forgot at least one, potentially two things. First one is I forgot to buy flywheel bolts. Since this thing is an automatic, it has the really short flex plate bolts, and I need the really long flywheel bolts. So I'm going to call AutoZone after I finish doing this and see if they have some in stock and if they can order some that I could go pick up like tomorrow morning or something. I forgot to get 2 bolts for the transmission bell housing, which isn't a big deal. I can go get those tomorrow as well. Might have not have a pilot bearing. I'm not really sure if I have one or not. There might be one in the clutch set. So I'm gonna go and check the ad, or I guess the listing on Rock Auto, and see if it said it came with one, because I think it did. I'm pretty sure I was thinking about it when I got that and it said it did, but I'm gonna check. That's where I'm gonna end this video for now. Hope you guys have enjoyed and be looking for more with this thing, getting the engine refreshed, and then getting everything else ready to go to receive the manual transmission. And of course, when the manual transmission goes in, we'll be swapping the pedal box and cutting a hole in the floor and all that stuff. But I'm gonna end this video here for now. Like I said, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you want to see more, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to know when the next video is up. And I will see you guys later.